And for Off the Block, I'm Van Lopes, and we are now joined by Princeton men's volleyball head coach Sam Shweisky as they are gearing up for the 2025 season. That sounds crazy to say, but we are nearing the start of that, less than 2 months away. So, Coach, I guess we got to start right there. You have an opportunity to see your team in the fall block so far. How's everyone looking in the Tigers gym?
Looking good. Many thanks for having me on, and just want to say thank you for all the media coverage you did over the Olympics. I know it was a big haul, and good to have you back here on the college scene, where it all started. Fall ball is great. I mean, we love getting a chance to play and see everybody. We had our big fall Glenn Nelson Classic last weekend. We had 20 teams come in, and they had 4 courts and a bunch of different lineups and different scenarios, and a lot of teams were here. It was great. George Mason, NJIT, Sacred Heart, Vassar, New Paltz, a lot of local teams. So it was a lot of fun, and just getting a chance to compete. You know, I think training is good, and the guys get in the rhythm of getting the ball machine out and getting the video replay out, and sort of everyday training on some small skills and stuff like that is part of what the fall is about, teaching systems and getting people in place. But competing is fun, right? That's what the guys love to do. So that was a fun opportunity. We got a few more coming up, and we're looking forward to them.
Coach, you look at the players who are coming back from last season. You know, obviously you got 2 first-team All-EIVA players, one at the pin, one at center. Can you just talk a little bit about what excites you most about the potential starting lineup that we could be seeing from you guys this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we lost a couple guys to graduation, and then we got a couple key players coming back, and I think the key is always going to be leaning on those key guys. I think Henry Webbush leading the team at the center position is going to be kind of the centerpiece of where the offense and the fire and all that comes from. And then Nero Mene in his 4th and final year, playing left or right or some hybrid. He's sort of done everything over his career, and definitely looking at him at one of the pins or some sort of hybrid pin position, but excited for them to lead us, and then see, where do the other guys, the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, supplement and come in and fill out the rest of the lineup. I think something that Joe and I have been really proud of, that we've continued this tradition of sort of Princeton volleyball, is find the best athlete, train everybody at multiple positions, and then figure out a system that best fits our personnel. And so we're kind of in the process of figuring that out. We told the guys the other day, we're looking for the 6 best servers, the 3 best passers, the 3 best high ball hitters. And after that, sure, we'd love a couple middles, love some guys who can play defense, stuff like that. But, I think figuring out, putting in the big building blocks first and figuring out who can fill those roles is going to be the first priority. But, yeah, we're excited. I think as our seniors lead us, we will see how far we can go, because the young guys are fired up and ready to kind of meet the challenge. But definitely the seniors are gonna set the tone.
Well, Coach, talking about some of the young guys, that you are bringing in a stud at the libero position in Avalar. Folks had a chance to see him with the U21 team this summer. What have you seen from him in the gym at the libero position?
Yeah, Rowan is, we're so happy he's a Princeton Tiger. He's such a sweet guy and just a great player and a great teammate. He just doesn't get flustered. He's just very calm. He reads the game. The game looks, it just looks like things are coming at him. Somehow he's able to slow them down. And he's just really good at just making plays on balls way outside of his frame. He covers quite a bit of distance. He just does some really impressive things. We haven't really done a ton. We try to just get him some reps and give him some feedback. I think as we get into game planning and statistics and, game plans against certain teams and certain servers and certain defensive schemes, I think that's where kind of our coaching is going to take him to the next level. But in the first few weeks, he's been pretty special and pretty dynamite. And we're excited to see what he can do to help, the rest of our passing unit. I think the more seams he can take and the more he can sort of encourage guys in serve reception, I think is going to help our whole team raise their level, which we're excited about.
Well, and the coach, I also want to ask you, you returned the EIVA Freshman of the Year in Whitfield. What have you seen in his game and any growth from, when we last saw him in April to now?
Yeah, well, Tristan, I'll tell you, is an incredible person, an incredible leader. We actually named him one of the captains. So we have a 3-captain roster on our team right now. It's Henry, Nero, and Tristan. So Tristan's a sophomore captain. And that's because he just lives and breathes not just volleyball, but Princeton volleyball. And so the amount of work that he puts into this program is incredible. And he gets to practice early every day, sets the net. He just does so many things. And so seeing him grow kind of into that leadership role off the court has been really special. And I think as he's expanded, he got a chance to train with U21 guys last summer and just to keep expanding his range. I think getting set for more positions off the net. I mean, middle's obviously supposed to kill the ball on a perfect pass, but, we're trying to work on can we set the middle in that area, zone 8, as Data Volley calls it, kind of off the net and get him involved more. Lead blocking obviously was a key, but I would say his serve is starting to come on, and he's figuring some things out there, which in the absence of Ben Harrington, having another guy that can go back and crack a pretty substantial jump serve consistently is going to be a huge weapon for us. So we're excited to hopefully see that continue to progress.
Yeah. And Coach, I do want to ask a little bit because you talk about some of the intangibles that Whitfield's able to bring in. We saw it last year with Ethan Champlin and UCLA. Here's the star player who's shagging volleyballs, and everything, the day before the championship. How important is it to have one of your star players or top talent guys just, so bought in and, doing all those little things to build that team culture?
Well, it's incredibly important. And it's funny you mentioned shagging. Yeah, I think Tristan yesterday, I think he holds the record. I think he can, I don't know if it's 9 or 10 balls that he can get. It's a little bit of a competition. I saw some of the guys, but he sets the tone, right? So all of a sudden he's kind of collect 8, 9 balls, and he's made that something that's cool in our gym to be of service, right? To do something for the team. And all of a sudden you have, Mason Rice, a freshman, and Ambrose Engling, a freshman, and Ethan Wells, a freshman, guys, oh wow, that's what's cool here is being of service and helping shag and helping set the net up and helping, support the drill in the gym. So it's absolutely huge. And for us in particular with a small team of, 14 guys, 14, 15, we don't have 20-something guys. Culture is important on every team, but if you have a small team and 1 or 2 guys set the tone, it can really permeate through the team pretty powerfully. So yeah, we're really, really pleased with the stuff that, Tristan, Nero, and Henry have all been doing, and the guys are really locking in behind them.
Yeah. Coach, you look at the 2025 schedules. I know some are coming out. Your team, I believe, hasn't released theirs yet, but anything that you can drop for us right now before the official release of any matches that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're right on the verge of releasing it, just trying to get all the details hammered out so there's, we're not going back and forth on this one's at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock before we press submit. But yeah, we're excited. We're starting off in January. We're heading out to California. We're playing a couple different teams. We're actually going to do a scrimmage against the Masters. I've had a bunch of colleagues play out there and said it's just a great environment to play. And Jared Goldberg's a good friend, and so he invited us to come out there. So we're going to get them a little scrimmage action before we officially start off against USC on the 11th, which should be a lot of fun. And then we're flying out to Hawaii, and we're going to get 2 matches out at Hawaii. Not back to back. I think it's like a Wednesday, Friday, or something like that. So that's going to be, Masters scrimmage, and then USC, and then back to back Hawaii is going to be a great opportunity to kind of really see what the top teams in the country look like, and then where do we stack up, and what do we have to work on. And then we come back here and got a bunch of local teams get into EIVA play, and then our spring break is exciting. We head back to California, and we'll get to play UC San Diego, Cal State Northridge, and Long Beach, which should be great. We haven't played Long Beach in a number of years, so a chance to play in the Pyramid and play those guys is going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to all the usual, EIVA action, and then I think our 2 trips in the winter and the spring are going to add a really nice balance and some really highly talented teams to our schedule.
Yeah. Well, and Coach, looking at the EIVA, I do want to ask you kind of a broader sense, kind of looking at the conference. How deep do you feel this is going to be, and how many teams do you think are going to have a realistic chance to, make a run and possibly win the EIVA title this year?
The way men's volleyball is going, I think it's hard to count anybody out. Sacred Heart was probably the team that wasn't in the league last couple of years. They're back now. They were at the fall tournament here. Georgia Mason was here with NJIT. The only teams we haven't seen are Charleston, Harvard, and Penn State. Every team has at least 1 or 2 guys that have an absolute cannon and can go back to the line and score 2-3 points in a row. in a rally point game, that's all you need to break separation and to win a set, and win a set's all you need to all of a sudden get momentum and win a match. So I don't know. I think every year, like, every team reloads and brings guys in and loses guys, and I'm I'm not putting anyone. I think Penn State traditionally has always been in the driver's seat, and I think that's fair to assume that they'll get ranked preseason first. But yeah, I wouldn't count anybody out. I think our league, top to bottom, is getting pretty compressed, which is exciting to see who wins and who's going to make it to the playoffs and who's going to make a run to the NCAAs.
Coach, one or two questions before we wrap up here. One of the things I do want to switch gears, talking a little off the court. It's always impressive for when we see Princeton winning, academic honors and everything, especially given the course load that your players have. Can you just talk about, your players and, really the commitment that they not only put into on the court, but off the court as well with taking Ivy League, classes?
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the best things about the schedule here at Princeton in terms of the way academics and athletics are structured is there's no classes offered between 4:20 and 7:30. And so that really lets guys follow their passions. We have guys who are astrophysics, mechanical and aerospace engineers, civil engineers, pre-med, economics, philosophy, history, you name it, right? Everything, every field that we've had guys go into. And you'll never miss class for a practice, and you'll never miss a practice for a class. And I think that's something that's really special about the Ivy League philosophy and about the way that Princeton structures it. And the same thing with our travel schedule. So we're playing all those, West Coast teams in January and in spring break, not when school's in session. And so the guys are able to travel. And then when we're back in class, we leave Thursday night, play Friday, Saturday. We're home Saturday night. And so the schedule kind of allows them to do some work on the bus, to have Sundays, to put in the work and play a national schedule, which is kind of ideal for a lot of these guys. Because academics, some of them are playing pro. Cody Kessel's playing in, where is he now? He was in Germany for several years. I think now he's in Belgium. Ben Harrington is in Finland. So we have a bunch of guys who go play pro, but a lot of these guys, want to go into the business world. They want to go into the medical profession. And so they have that opportunity to focus on their academics while they do their athletics. And yeah, it's a lot of work. There's no shying away from that. I think that's part of what makes people coming out of Princeton and some of these schools really attractive candidates for jobs, is because they know they've not only been at a top institution, but they've also been an athlete, and they have developed these teamwork skills and things like that. So yeah, very impressive what our guys do on a daily basis from an academic standpoint, and to balance athletics is kind of incredible. And yeah, we're excited to be along for the ride with them.
Yeah. Well, and Coach, final question, we'll wrap up on this. It's crazy for me to think about this, but you've now been at Princeton for about 15 years, if not a little bit more. And I want to ask for you as a coach, and, what for you is the thing that, still excites you every day when you, go in the gym? 15 years later, you still get as excited as, kind of that, first year where you were hit here.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think there's still that incredible dopamine rush when you're working with a player and trying to teach them something, and they don't quite get it at first, and all of a sudden something clicks, and they smile and they look at you and they go, "Oh, I see that's pretty cool, actually. That's great." That's a really fun feeling. That's and that's going to be different for every player and every skill and things like that. And that's really fun. And then I think, I really enjoy the less stressful moments, times on the bus, times on the van, or getting to connect with guys if they have questions or issues about stuff. And I think back, our alums were just here, for our Glenn Nelson Classic. And, I've been in some of those guys' weddings and been to some of those guys', life events. Some of those guys, Davis Waddell just had a son. Michael Dye just had a son. Davis had a daughter. Michael had a son. But yeah, a lot of those guys are having kids and getting married and stuff, and it's just special to be a part of their life and be able to look back and go, oh yeah, back when I was, 18, 19, 20, and I was struggling coming to practice on time and figuring class out and this and that, you kind of gave me a little push in the right direction, and now I'm a really, full-fledged member of society, and I'm doing well. So, I think having that reminder that that's kind of what this is about, education through athletics, and helping guide these guys along the way, and hopefully adding something to their life and their college experience, that's what kind of gets me going and gets me excited about, coming to practice every day.